Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting of the Coos Bay Urban Renewal Agency to order. And our first item on the agenda is public comments. Do we have any public comments? Anybody online? Then we will move to item 2, which is the consent calendar. And how would the agency like to proceed?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar, which is our financial reports and check register. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. And next item is our consideration to award the contract for construction for the Commercial Avenue 3rd to 4th Street and Sidewalk Improvement Project. And Jennifer, you're going to take that.
Thank you. Along Commercial Avenue between North 3rd and North 4th Street, the south sidewalk, the north curb and gutter, and the street is in need of replacement. So one of the City Council goals is to maintain and improve public infrastructure. This project meets that goal. So the city contracted with the Dyer Partnership to prepare design. Bids were advertised, and one bid was received from Knife River Materials for $256,952. The engineer's estimate was $300,000. The scope of work will consist of cold plain pavement removal, asphalt concrete pavement, full depth asphalt removal, sidewalk improvements, curb and gutter removal and replacement, removing existing trees, new tree wells with grates, remove and replace traffic loop detector, striping, ADA improvements, demolition work, and other miscellaneous items. So staff's requesting or recommending approval with a 15% contingency and the budget implications. So funds for this will come from the downtown URA dollars, specifically Fund 57, and then the 2 line items that staff is proposing is the sidewalk projects line item and the street infrastructure line item.
All right.
Can I provide some more background?
Oh, sure.
For you? So, for our newest member, I think it's important to provide you a little more background. In Coos Bay, like many other cities, the adjoining property to a sidewalk is responsible for the maintenance of the sidewalk. The city has, because it has a number of street trees in the sidewalk downtown, has taken on that responsibility of replacing sidewalks that have been damaged by street trees, some of which are 50 years old. Because of the immense amount of sidewalk in the downtown, we're having to do it incrementally. So there's a couple of projects that have been scheduled for this year, but each year, at least in the past several years, the agency has set aside budget dollars to replace a section of sidewalk, and will continue doing that probably for the next 10 to 15 years until we can get rid of some of the more dangerous sidewalks.
And we have this availability because of urban renewal, not out of the general fund.
That's correct. If it were not for urban renewal, I'm not sure how we would take care of this.
Thank you for the update. Helpful.
All right. Any other comments, questions? How would the agency like to proceed?
I'll move that we award the Commercial Avenue street and sidewalk improvements between 3rd and 4th project to KRM, or Knife River Materials, for $295,495, which includes a 15% contingency.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to award the contract to Knife River Materials for $295,495, which includes a contingency. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is also Jennifer. Consideration to award the contract for construction for Commercial Avenue sidewalk improvements from 5th to 7th Street.
Okay.
Streets.
The sidewalk on the north side of Commercial between 5th and 7th Street is in need of being replaced. The city contracted with the Dyer Partnership to prepare design. Bids were advertised, and one bid was received from Knife River Materials for $322,500. $572.50. The engineer's estimate was $358,250. The scope of this project will consist of asphalt concrete pavement, sidewalk improvements, ADA ramp improvements, trees, tree grates, tree removal, demolition work, and other miscellaneous items. Staff is recommending approval with a 15% contingency. The budget implications are the same. They're from Fund 57, downtown sidewalk and street infrastructure.
All right. Any questions? Then I will entertain a motion.
I'll move to award the Commercial Avenue sidewalk improvements between 5th and 7th Street project to Knife River Materials for $370,959, which includes a contingency.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second to award the Commercial Avenue sidewalk improvements project between 5th and 7th to Knife River Materials for $370,959, including the contingency. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And we have no further action items, so we will move to executive session. We will hold an executive session for both the URA and the council. We will not be coming back into session following that executive session.
The City Council will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602D for the purpose of discussing labor negotiations. The URA Board will then meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192.6602E for the purpose of discussing real property transactions. If the URA Board or the City Council intends to come out of the executive session to take final action, the presiding officer should announce when the open session will begin again. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decisions may be made in executive session.